KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson Navigation, serving Guam and Micronesia for 20 years. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dededo. Always open, always local.
Ahead on primetime, the mother of the airman killed on Anderson speaks out. Hear her message to the suspect in custody. Plus, services are held for the AK worker killed during a Mesh Chamorro celebration. And fireworks will light up the sky on Liberation Day, but there isn't enough money to send them up on Independence Day.
Half a day and good evening.
He was less than 1 month shy of his 21st birthday when his life was cut short. Airman First Class Bradley Hale's body sent to his hometown in Montgomery, Texas on Monday. The family making arrangements as they prepare services to say their final goodbyes.
Yeah, his death ruled a homicide, though official charges have not yet been filed. Investigators say the suspect in custody, an airman as well, has been placed on pretrial confinement on suspicion of murder and manslaughter. Tonight, Bradley's mother speaking with us over the phone, remembering her son and seeking justice following his death.
A mother in search of answers.
It's unbelievable. I feel like I'm in a nightmare, and every morning when I wake up, that it'll all have been a really bad dream, and I'll have my baby back. But I'm sorry. It's just how someone could do that to someone else is beyond me, let alone it being your fellow airmen. They're supposed to be battle buddies. They're supposed to be your brothers, and I just don't understand it.
Charlotte Hale is speaking out about her son, Airman First Class Bradley Hale, after he was found dead on Anderson Air Force Base last week. Bradley was apparently stabbed. The unnamed suspect, also an airman, taken into custody after investigators found a knife and a lot of blood at the scene. Military investigators unable to release more details for now.
I just don't know the why, and that's what I keep struggling with, how anybody could do that to such a sweet, amazing person. I want whoever did this to pay for this crime.
Charlotte says Bradley was an honor roll student for several years and played the bass clarinet in his school band in Texas. He also volunteered for a variety of community events.
He loved to play games, loved to spend time with his family and friends, constantly smiling, and very funny.
Bradley, an electronic warfare journeyman for the B-52 bomber, was deployed to Guam from Barksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana this past January. Charlotte was on her way home when she received the call that 3 uniformed military personnel were at her front door.
She said the words Air Force, and we regret to inform you. I don't really remember much after that. It was just really hard to hear, because especially when they tell you they can't tell you what happened, just that he passed away.
Another day went by before Charlotte would be given details about her son's death. But as she waits to find out more from investigators, she has this to say to the suspect.
We live in a world where people take each other's lives every day. It happens in all different manner. The way that this person took away my Bradley may have felt like they were hurting him, but guess what? He's not in any more pain. The only people that this person hurt is every single person that loves him, and we'll have to carry this pain for the rest of our lives now.
And for Bradley?
I would want to tell him that, oh my gosh, I would want to tell them he will always be a part of me, and I will never forget him, and I will carry him with me wherever I go until I see him again.
Bradley's body will arrive in Houston on Monday. Services will be held in Montgomery, Texas the following day. Well, family of the late Liebert Manglotnia lay him to rest today. The 35-year-old was killed last month during a company party.
Charged with his murder is co-worker Jonathan Ross Pangilinan, a family member telling KUAM he was there and had no reason to suspect the night would end in bloodshed. Family of the late Libric Miglotnia still in disbelief.
It's so hardly truly to understand that. Up to this day now, I don't believe we're here today as we speak, saying we are going to put him to rest.
Jerome St. Nicholas was one of many present at AK Toyota's Mes Chamorro celebration last month. He was there with his cousin, Libric Miglotnia, and Jonathan Ross Pangilinan, both AK employees.
I was at AK, I was presented there with Libric and John Panji, Ross Pangilinan. We're all together, we're all having a good time. We all dancing like brothers. I didn't see no hardship.
Minutes after leaving the party, St. Nicholas tells KUAM he got the call. Miglotnia was dead. The next day, Pangilinan charged with his murder. The dealership's surveillance footage showed the men were in a scuffle. Miglotnia was on his hands and knees on the pavement as Pangilinan allegedly beat him until he was pulseless and breathless.
15 minutes, I get a phone call saying one of my brothers is gone. It's so hardly truly to understand that. What made it go that far? That's my question. Oh, I didn't see no grudge match between John Ross Pangilinan or Libric Miglotnia. It was totally fine. We were cheering beers back to back.
Also struggling to say goodbye, Eleanor Miglotnia St. Nicholas, a second mother to Libric Miglotnia.
It's hard to let him go. He's a person that didn't deserve this, but all we wonder is why. How come? Well, I'm out of words. It's something that we're still trying to take in. The person that did it is a real close family member. They grew up together. He was just practically our neighbor.
St. Nicholas telling KUAM there's no hard feelings here, only love.
And his family is always welcome in our hearts to come over, to mourn, to weep together. We don't want this to keep us distant. And as far as Jonathan, we're going to leave it up to the Lord and the law to do what has to be done. Who am I to judge anybody?
Miglotnia was 35 years old. Though gone, he won't be forgotten.
Fly high and fly free, boy, and let the law take its place, and we'll see you someday.
I was going to let you know, brother, ride easy. I'll see you another day.
Police were on the lookout for a man caught on camera after he allegedly robbed a store at the Micronesia Mall, but he was already being held in prison. 21-year-old Reynold J. John is charged with second-degree robbery. It was reported at the Micronesia Mall's GameStop last month. Investigators say following the alleged incident, the suspect was arrested for a separate burglary. He was being held at the Higani Detention Facility. Police say that's where he admitted to the robbery.
GPD's Robbery Suppression Task Force was checking up on a suspect in Manila when they found drugs. 39-year-old Don Allen Borja Mendiola is charged with manufacture of a Schedule 1 controlled substance and possession of a Schedule 2 controlled substance. Court documents state during a check of the suspect's home, authorities found a marijuana plant and an undisclosed amount of meth.
It appears there will be multiple trials for the former GURA board members charged with holding secret meetings and violating the open government law. In a decision and order issued late Thursday, Judge Anita Socola granting severance for Deanne Torrey and John Ilao. This means they won't face the same jury as co-defendants David Sablan, Cecile Suda, Rosie Blas, and Roland Selvage. They were indicted with GURA. They're indicted with GURA Executive Director Michael Duenas, who recently entered a plea agreement with the government for conspiracy as a misdemeanor. For Duenas' remaining charges to be dismissed, he must cooperate with the government and testify against his co-defendants. As reported, the group is accused of meeting for working sessions to determine how they'd vote during meetings, including how they'd facilitate the award of millions in tax credits under the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program. A follow-up hearing is set for May 23rd at 9 in the morning.
Well, the carnival might be a bust, but it seems the fireworks are projected to light up the sky this Liberation Day. After mayors say the show must go on.
Yes, Carmen Talahi has more.
While there's still debate if a Liberation Carnival will happen, mayors are certain they want fireworks in July. But not for the 4th of July, only Liberation.
This is a tradition where we are celebrating our freedom. I think that we should step up to the plate and do something. This only comes once a year and it's celebrating our freedom.
Chico Mayor Rudy Metanani says fireworks are a must for Liberation Day's festivities. while PD Mayor Jesse Allig weary of the Mayor's Council financial woes, urging that any decisions about financing proceed with caution.
Spending money usually
choice giveaway.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
They've got a plan, but not enough time. Officials from Menhita Farms appeared before the legislature to discuss a measure that would extend the current lease agreement between Menhita Farms and Gita.
Kiani Mendiola has more.
Testimony was heard today down at the Guam Congress building on Senator Tom Atta's Bill 256. The bill would extend the current lease of 50 acres of land in the Dedido-Jigo area to Menhita Farms, LLC, for an additional 26 years. It would also allow 5 10-year renewal options under mutual agreement, basically totaling up to a 75-year lease agreement between Menhita Farms and the Guam Economical Development Authority. Co-owner of Menhita Farms, former Senator Michael Limtiaco, and president of Pacific Unlimited, Inc., John Limtiaco, both appeared to speak in favor of the bill.
So our revenue model is basically to produce fresh fruits and vegetables and eggs on Guam to meet existing underserved food needs and anticipated future demand.
Menhita Farms plans to include an egg farm, produce farm, and compost in their plans for increased production so that Guam can become more sustainable and self-sufficient versus its reliancy on imported goods. However, Senator Chalahi had her concerns how extending Menhita's lease would affect other local farmers.
How would this fit into the current market or have an impact on small businesses?
But with Guam's high demand for produce, more farmers will be needed.
Even if Menhita Farms was able to grow every square inch on that farm, we won't even account for 5% of the produce needed on island. This island needs every farmer we have now. It needs Menhita Farms' capability, and we need hundreds of more farmers.
Additionally, Senator Mary Torres voiced out her issues on the bill, how the previous contract was very clear on the lease term, and that an extension would be beneficial to Menhita's business.
So now you've got this plan, and in order for this plan to work, you need to extend the term beyond what the clear intent of the original lease was. Absolutely not. Beyond 50 years, you shall not. You must stay. You can't extend. So now you're saying we're going to breach that and we're going to renegotiate that.
And while her concerns are valid, they're focusing on the bigger picture that matters.
We were not aware that USDA or the bank that we work with would not take the risk on such a short year for that amount of money. So we never entered this thinking we were going to get any more than 26 years. And if this body feels that the sustainability and food safety of this island isn't an important factor, we're fine. We'll stick to our 26 years and we won't put another dime into it.
Other testimonies were also heard, including the Guam Fishermen's Co-op president, Manny Duenas, who is in favor of the bill.
These guys have got it sophisticated, and maybe it'll be the demonstrated model for our farming community.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Kiani Mediola.
A bill to further regulate above-ground storage of fuel oil received mixed reviews at a public hearing on Friday. Drawing the most attention was the new fee and insurance requirements for owners of fuel tanks of 55 gallons or more. GIPA Administrator Walter Leon Guerrero supports the measure.
If federal U.S. EPA downsizes, this is the reason why we need this legislature to pass this bill into law, because then it'll give us, Guam EPA, the local authority, the ability to oversight and procure what we need to conduct this. If U.S. EPA downsizes and money's removed, then we need the authority to ensure all these tanks are regulated correctly.
But businesses such as auto dealerships who use the tanks in their service departments and elsewhere oppose adding more fees and costs, especially on top of the already rising taxes. Philip Gerling represents the Nissan Auto Corporation.
Containment room that is so that should there be a spill, it is completely contained. But we would now need to get a permit and insurance additionally for what has been in place for the better of 25 years, almost 30 years. So it's difficult to make sense of it. I mean, we just got hit by an increase in business privilege tax. There's a sales tax coming up. All the costs are going up. This is just adding to the cost of business.
He says ultimately it is the Guam consumer that is going to have to pay.
Longtime heavy equipment supplier rental company Morrico Equipment is now under new ownership. Actually, it's now an employee-owned company, one of the very few on island. Company founder Alan Morrison says as a way to incentivize employees and attract much-needed new ones, they decided to launch an ESOP, an employee shared ownership plan. He says the staff will earn shares based on time worked in the company. The announcement was made Thursday, and a consultant was brought in to explain the complicated details to employees.
Job. Hopefully, the characteristics of owning the company changes that employee attitude to, hey, this is my company now.
Morrison says they hope to add many more employees to help meet anticipated growth from the military buildup. He started with company some 28 years ago after arriving from Australia.
It's lit in Tumon, thanks to the Guam Visitors Bureau Tumon Bay's Streetlight Rehabilitation Project. On Thursday night, Phase 2 was completed and the switch was flipped across GVB and PROA. The $1.8 million project is part of an effort to repair long-standing streetlight issues, lighting up the streets to keep tourists and locals safe.
Now less than 2 days left to race day. Runners are lacing up their shoes for this year's United Airlines Guam Marathon. Whether you're running the 5K, 10K, half marathon, or the full marathon, packets are now available for pickup at the UGM Expo at the Pacific Islands Club in Tumon. That's where latecomers can also sign up. The race starts bright and early Sunday morning, finishing with a beach party at EPAL.
It's a festival of color and of love. Holy Festival 2018 is all set for this Saturday at the Guam Greyhound Park in Sumuning. Participants can expect a day of entertainment, games, food, and more. Ranjna Dewan, event organizer.
It's a part of our life, it's a part of our culture. But bringing it to Guam, it's definitely a new experience. We've maybe seen it on YouTube videos or any other form of social media, but now to experience it, to actually play with the colors, and it's not that you know the person next to you. You don't have to know them, it's go ahead and smear them with color. So it's just bringing the community together, becoming one.
The festival is from 3 p.m. to midnight and is open to all ages. The first 1,000 will get a free t-shirt. You can find out more by checking them out on social media. That's the Holy Festival Guam.
3 teachers are one step closer to being named the Guam Department of Education Teacher of the Year. One of the 7 semifinalists, Superintendent John Fernandez, announced the finalists during a press conference at Cars Plus MIT. They are Valine Ann Salas of Juan M. Guerrero Elementary School, Jonah Gumatauta of Agata Johnston Middle School, and Meridel Perez of Maria Ujoa Elementary. Each finalist will now move on to the next phase of the selection process, which includes on-site classroom observations. The winner will be announced at the 2018 Teacher of the Year Gala at the Hyatt Regency Guam on April 20th. Make sure to tune to KUAM Primetime starting Monday as we begin featuring all of the semifinalists.
There's a new venue making big waves in Tumon. The grand opening was held last night for the new Splash Bar and Cafe. Here's Underwater World Director Jeff Schindler.
Lounge venue that we're doing on our second floor gallery area, and it's something unique, something different. We've had the animals, we've had the space, we've had everything that we needed, and we decided to transform it in the evening to a very unique space for people to come in and just relax and enjoy themselves and be engaged by the environment.
Schindler adds, you won't see anything else like this on Guam. It's their effort to stay innovative. Underwater World has been in Tumon for almost 20 years. The new Splash Bar and Cafe is open from 5 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. every day.
Well, sports is next, but first, your island weather.
We're celebrating our 135th anniversary today, both in the outlying regions on which we hub and also here in Guam itself. It means so much to our team here in Guam. It means a lot to us in the Matson management team, because what it says is we're here to stay. It's a real physical manifestation of our commitment to this region. It's so important that we hire locally, we develop talent locally, we train locally. What's been a wonderful addition to our approach there is that many of the people who started off in Guam have gone off into significant leadership roles elsewhere in the company.
This is our headquarters here in Guam in Micronesia. And when we talk about putting down our roots, it's not just doing business, it's about everything we do with our friends, our customers, and our employees. I believe that nobody can replicate what we do, and that's why we have such a great team and such a great service and why we're successful. This is our home, this is our life, and we're happy to make a difference in everyone else's life.
Which is a huge turnout, so the continuing the playoffs, and then women's alumni. So that continues Sunday, and then we have I think Academy versus Fuerza taking place at 7:30. So it'll be a fun weekend at the Elite Center this week.
All right, congratulations. Stay tuned to our next Darren Tone Athlete of the Week.
KUAM Sports Athlete of the Week is brought to you by
United Airlines Guam Marathon Half Day Expo got underway this morning at the PIC Pacific Pavilion. All those registered for the run, don't forget you have until tomorrow from 9 to
And birthday. And Nick, it's that time.
It is that time to announce the winner of this week's Yummy Cold Stone Creamery birthday cake, and it is
Ivana Sachin. Happy belated birthday. A rep from Cold Stone will call you on how you can redeem your Yummy Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake.
Yes, that's going to do it for us here in the news desk. Good night.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.
Good day, everybody. I'm Jason Salas. Thank you so much for tuning in or streaming us. In tonight's lineup, we will be telling you about the Bank of Guam block party. But first, we have got the men of Ulitao, some friends of ours, and they're going to tell us about this weekend's Valley of the Lati Festival. We welcome to the Harmon Studios Lorenzo Napati and Mike Maguatag of Ulitao, the president and VP, respectively. Gentlemen, half a day.
Half a day.
All right, thanks for giving me some of your time, man, because I know you guys are like really busy with this Lati of the Valley Festival. It is an event that I know a lot of people are so excited about.
Definitely.
Yeah. Not the least of which are you guys and everything like that. 'Cause, I mean, it truly is, Lorenzo, we'll start with you. Like, it's a labor of love.
Yep. Well, for Ulitao, you know, this is what we do pretty much every day. And Valley of the Lati has really given the opportunity for us to, you know, build canoes and share it with, you know, the tourists and locals alike. On a 7-day basis. So.
Now, when you put this in a festival setting, Mike, and everything like that, of course, you're going to get a lot of people that go down there. You're exhibiting, you know, your craft and your passion and everything like that. I'm sure people ask you like a million different questions. What are some of the most common ones that pop up?
Some of the most common ones are really a lot of people don't have this knowledge of Chamorro seafaring. So luckily that's our wheelhouse. So we can, you know, share that knowledge, what we know and what our experiences are with Chamorro seafaring. But also just Chamorro culture in general. Because it's so wide open during the River Festival, we have a lot of people who come down who are not really familiar with Chamorro culture. So we're able to share the other elements of our culture, you know, as Ulitao, but also some of the other vendors who are there sharing their cultural passions as well.
And it's not just people like who may have moved here from the States or other parts in the world. These are actual people who grew up on Guam and everything, who can take so much